Hi guys, Cameron here and welcome to another video where we are going to be looking at stuff from the new edition. I've done a couple of videos on this already where we've looked at a couple of the models such as the Snow Troll and we also looked at the War of the Rohirrim book, and I've even done a tournament vlog of the new edition. Today though we are going to be looking at the new Hobbit era book that has come out. This was kindly sent to me by Kelpie Games, sponsor of this video, so go check them out. But what we'll do is we'll go on a top-down view, we'll flick through the book and you can see exactly what there is. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. Well, here we go. The Armies of the Hobbit for Middle-earth SBG 2. We open it up and we've got a lovely map here at the front of it, as well as then going into the actual Battle Games in Middle-earth. And if we continue to open it up, it's a new book, so the spine hasn't been broken completely yet. We've got a lovely picture of Smaug fighting some Lake Town militia. We've got Bard, by the looks of it, on top of the Windlance. It's a very nice picture by the looks of it. Introductions, which is totally fine, and then we go into our forces of good. Starting off with Thorin's Company, or the Dwarven Holds. We get all of Thorin's Company going through them, which is absolute lovely. I cannot complain about this. It is very nice to kind of see all of these dwarves in one place with all the new, I'll say, special abilities and everything. We then got Gandalf and Bilbo Baggins, of course, and then we go into the kind of Thorin Thrain. So all these dwarves, including young Thorin and young Balin and Dwalin, all these dwarves are in one place because of the way that this army now works. We've then got into our Iron Hills, although it is still called the Dwarven Holds, and you can see here our chariot for them. We then have the Armoured Thorin's Company, which obviously is very nice and something that I thoroughly enjoy. And for Beaufort, the dwarf, champion of Erebor, you are allowed to take a Troll Brute for 100 points. 165 points and you get a Troll Brute with Beaufort on it. Yes, please. I'm so glad they've done this because they finally released rules for a model that had rules before. We then get our Dwarven Kings, which you can decide which kingdom they are from, which is one of these things. And we've got the Kingdom of Men, so all of our Lake Town stuff and whatnot is here. We continue on, we've got Lake Town Guard. We've still got Braga, or Braga, however you pronounce it, which doesn't have a model, so there isn't a model on the page, but he's still there, which is obviously interesting. It's strange that they are taking away certain models and certain things, but keeping those. For example, Girion, he doesn't have a bow anymore, he's just got the Windlance, which is really annoying because I modelled mine with a bow. But it is what it is, so be it. Elven Kingdoms, we've got Elrond starting off, along with then Arwen and Lindir, and then we've got Bilbo Baggins, Aging Hobbit, in this selection here, which I think is quite nice. Thranduil, so the Halls of Thranduil sort of stuff, Legolas and Tariel, obviously, along then with our Mirkwood dudes and dudettes. The Free People, we've got Goodman Saruman, so Saruman the White there, along with Radagast, and that has Radagast with Radagast on Eagle and Radagast on Sleigh. And then we keep going. Thrain the Broken, so he is in there rather than in the Dwarven section. We've got Beorn. There's no other Beornings in this book because they are coming out in our third book, so I think they're called Armies of Middle-earth. Gwai here, the Great Eagle, and then the Fletchling Eagle, which is from the new War of the Rohirrim book. Good army lists. So this is then where it differs from what we've previously had. This is obviously the army lists that kind of you can run, and this is now how they are done. They're not done in the sense of what it used to be, where you could choose what you were going to kind of have. It is all set out with what you can have, who you can have, the points values, and the war year for this, and then their special rules for the army. Almost like Legendary Legions, essentially, is kind of how it is. So we've got Thorin's Company, which was our first one. Army of Thror, which obviously there is our Army of Thror, Young Balin, Dwalin on there. Then have our Iron Hills, so coming in for the Battle of Five Armies, shall we say. And then we have Erebor Reclaimed, so this is where Beaufort can take the Troll Brute here. You can see it just there. Then we go on to the Army of Lake Town here, and you can see everything that they are allowed to take. This is a lovely picture, actually. I really like this, with Taria leading a couple of dwarves, and Bard up here with the master and everything. But after Army of Lake Town, we got Survivors of Lake Town, so everyone who has survived Smaug's attack can be in here, including Gandalf the Grey. And is Bilbo Baggins allowed to be in here? Let me see. Yes, Bilbo Baggins, Master Burglar, just up there, probably in the portion which has glare on it. Now, looks like we're halfway through the book, because we have got our lovely tab here. And tell you what, I'll take that out at the top. Garrisons of Dale. So this is Old Dale, this is Girion. That can be taken here. And then we have here Erebor and Dale. So this is, again, old stuff, so pre-Hobbit sort of thing, where you've got Girion and Thrain. We then have Rivendell, which, again, these are lovely painted and laid out. I like that a lot. Halls of Thranduil, where you can have everything, although Thranduil cannot take a horse anymore. He can only take his elk, or he can be on foot. And then we have got the Rangers of Mirkwood. This is making another appearance in this edition from last edition. This was a very strong army back then, and people loved it. And, Battle of Five Armies. So this has got everything that was at the Battle of Five Armies. Is it spread across 2? No. I couldn't remember. It spread across 4 pages. But yes, you've got absolutely everything here that you can ever think about that you're going to need to take. And it's quite frankly just a lot of everything. Assault on Ravenhill here. So everything that's going up to Ravenhill. Very small army list, but certainly would probably be fun. Just a load of heroes. It's definitely a hero-heavy list. Radagast Alliance making a return. So you've got kind of everything that, well, what you would expect. But you can take the fledgling eagles now as well. We've then got the White Council, reusing this picture from last edition. It has got the various White Council, as well as Thrain the Broken, who is still only 10 points, which is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, just what I would say is your normal. We then have our Forces of Evil. However, this book was lovingly sponsored to me by Kelpie Games. So before we go any further, we are going to have a message from our sponsor of Kelpie Games, and then we'll be right back for the Evil Army lists. I will speak to you soon. So, Kelpie Games, who are they? They are a local gaming store up in the north of Scotland. You can see all their stuff in the background. They have a number of different games, systems, hobby materials. You can play games there for a very easy kind of day. It's absolutely fantastic. They have got a Facebook, Discord, and you can just buy things from them from Google. Please check them out. They are Kelpie Games, and they have sponsored today's video. And just like that, we are back to look at the evil army lists for this workbook. Lovely picture of Bolg there with our evil army list. Now, we do know he's getting a new model, but we'll certainly see what happens. We've got Azog, so this is Gundabad and Dorguldur. Azog to start off with our White Warg. Now, let me see. He doesn't have the signal tower by the looks of it, which was a special war gear option of his last edition. That's interesting. I will have to see how that comes into play. Got Bolg, which is the old model, and then going to Yazneg and Fimble and Nazug. So going through all the different hunter orcs that we've got here. And then, oh, the Goblin Mercenary Captain. If I remember correctly, these cannot be taken in the Goblin Town army anymore, which is a little bit of a shame, but also, I'll say makes sense, because the reason that they're wearing armour is so that they can come out of the caves and go into the sunlight. Here is the Troll Brute. I talked about this guy with Bofer at the start of the video. Absolutely fantastic. He's 120 points on his own, so 45 points to include Biffer on top of him, rather than the Orc Commander. Moving on, we have got the Gundabad Warbats and then the Gundabad Catapult Troll. The fact that this is in here and we don't have one of these models, I'm really, really hoping that we get this. This is something I've been, I'll say, gagging for ages, and I own a Catapult Troll that Dandelion made, so that was 3D printed and everything. We then have the Necromancer, so Sauron the Necromancer. He is here in this part because he's part of Dol Guldur, and then we have the Keeper of the Dungeons, the original Azog model. The 9, lots of the 9. Far too many rules for me to try and ever remember, but we've got the 9 here, and then we have got our spiders. Now, these are the only 2 sets of spiders that are left, the Mirkwood Giant and the Mirkwood Hunting Spider. These are now called Mirkwood Hunting Spiders, and these are called Mirkwood Giant Spiders. So these used to be Giant, these used to be Mirkwood. It was confusing, I didn't understand, but we have lost the Spider Queen and her broodlings. We then have our good friend, the Goblin King, and then we go on to the Goblin Town stuff. Now, the Goblin Scribe, it needs to be put on a 60mm base now. So I'm going to need to get a 60mm base for my Goblin Scribe. We then continue over, we've got our Goblin Captain, this tiny little dude. I hate him. He's so stupid. And then our Goblin Warrior. And then we go on to the Misty Mountains part where we have our 3 trolls. 1, 2, 3. These guys I have played in a tournament. They were absolutely fantastic. We then have Smaug here, 700 points by himself. It is absolutely insane. It doesn't look like he's got any upgrades on his page, but he certainly does have his full page of stats. And then we go on to our evil army lists with a lovely picture of Azog versus some Iron Hills dwarves by the looks of it just here. But to start off, we have Army of Gundabad. So this looks like it can take Azog, Bolg, and all the Gundabad stuff, which includes the Troll Brute and the Goblin Mercenary. So this is just kind of all the Azog-y stuff, which interestingly we have Azog here in armor, and that is not a model that we can take anymore because that's out of production. But looking at it, yeah, Azog with armor, so it comes with armor according to these rules. Pits of Dol Guldur, an army list which was doing well at the end of last edition, if I remember correctly, and this has got a load of bits and bobs in it. It does come with Thrain the Broken, though, who was in our good army lists, and you can see him just here, but that is there. Azog's Hunters, so all the hunting stuff. He can only take the White Warg, he can't take the Stone Flail and the armor in this, so it has to be, I'll say, naked Azog that we are running in this list, which is just the model that they've made. Rise of the Necromancer, I imagine that these rules are very similar. Oh, no, they're not. So this has got all the stuff from various different places. So you've got Hunter Orc Captains, Sauron, Wargs, Mirkwood, Spiders, and everything. So this isn't the 9 list. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I do like this idea then. Okay, I'm gonna have to see how that works, because it looks like you can take Sauron, the Nazgul of Dor Guldur, the Keeper of the Dungeons, and then there's just a bunch of other things, right? So you can take it. It's almost like 2 lists combined. We then have Goblin Town, which, like I said, does not have the mercenaries in it anymore, which is a little gutting. And looking at this version of their scribe, it does not look like it is on a 60mm base, which is something I like seeing. We then have the 3 trolls. This was the list that I ran at my first tournament, which the tournament hobby vlog is up. And it is a very nice army list. You get 400 points in the 3 models. The campfire is free, and then you have to pick, or you can pick, special additional rules for 50 points each. Good fun, lots of different ones, and depending on what you want. You then have the Desolation of the Norse. The North. So this is Smaug himself, just looking gorgeous here, along with this. We've got his army rules here, as well as his special rules. And we then go on to another massive picture of Smaug with wee little Bilbo Baggins. That's strange. This is a glossy page, and then this is kind of a paper page. So there are different feelings between the two. And then onto the last page, we then go on to our map again, closing our book with the blurb and a picture of Thorin's company versus the Goblin King. So there we go. That is the Armies of the Hobbit book. You have now seen all the profiles, all the army lists that are in here, and we are sorted for this book. Well, there you go. That is the Armies of the Hobbit for Middle-earth SBG 2. You have seen the profiles, you have seen the army lists, you have seen it all now, and yeah, you now know what you're getting when you pick up this book. So thank you for watching is all that I can really say. It's been probably longer than it should have, and I can only apologise about that, but welcome to the way of the world. But yes, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, go to my Patreon and support me there. And then also head over to Kelpie Games, who have sponsored this video and sponsored me this book. So thank you very much to them for that. But yes, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Take care and bye-bye.